Welcome back, everybody, to Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Last time, we finished episode Shadow. So what are we doing this part? We're gonna complete the game. Not 100%, just the story. But yes, this is going to be the finale to Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. So it's probably going to be a long one. Just one last look. Extras. You now have all the main themes prior to the last story, theater room, the cutscenes for all three stories. Options are just settings. So, and now we have progress completion at 100% for all three main stories, and now we're just missing the last story. I want to quickly go over something in Shadow Story that I never mentioned, that I completely forgot to mention though. There is a town mission where, I believe it's with that gun soldier that I saw in like one of the last few parts. There's a town mission where you take the armored buggy on a track, like on a highway. It's not required, since I didn't play it throughout the story. It's not required, but it's very similar in feel to those highway chase levels in Sonic Adventure 2, where you would play them as either Tails or Rouge. Just something interesting to point out. And one last thing I want to point out are, where are the Chaos Emeralds prior to taking on the last story? So as you recall, Sonic has none, because the only one he had, he gave to Silver. And at the end of Silver Story, he has 2 in his possession. In Shadow Story, we see Mephiles obtain another 2. So that's 4 so far, out of the 7. Now, Mephiles was seen with a purple Chaos Emerald at the very beginning of Silver Story. That's 5. And in Silver Story, he gave the blue Chaos Emerald to young Elise, so that's 6. Even though I don't want to count that last one, because 10 years, really? That's a 10 years time difference, whatever. There's only 1 emerald unaccounted for. It does not play anything into the story, the fact that there's a Chaos Emerald unaccounted for so far. It's just something I want to point out. And one last thing to mention before I get into the last episode is that we're about to get into a lot of cutscenes. So let's just get into it.
Sonic! Sonic!
Yes, Elise. Don't cry. No matter what happens.
Oh, no.
Finally, the seal is broken. At long last, I'll be able to join with you. Iblis! Now, Chaos Emerald. It's time for the final curtain call.
What is this? Where are we? What's going on?
Is this because of that light?
The Chaos Emerald has disappeared.
Silver?
What are you doing here? This is all so confusing.
It's all because of Solaris.
It seems we were all caught by the spatial distortion. Iblis's seal has been broken. Due to Mephilus's manipulation.
Sonic? No. You don't think...
Sonic!
Mephiles played us all for fools. His plan all along was to cause the princess to be so consumed with despair that she'd cry.
So that's why he wanted me to kill Sonic before. Solaris!
This creature will consume all existing timelines, and time itself will collapse and disappear into nothingness.
The instability of time caused this time-space rift.
It won't remain for much longer.
We've no time to waste! We've got to defeat it now!
No, it is a transcendent life form that exists in the past, present, and future. Defeating it here, now, would do nothing.
No, I won't give up. There has to be a way. If you say it exists in the past, present, and future, I'll destroy them all at once! Certainly. It might have been possible if he was still alive.
Sonic! Sonic!
What's the matter?
I feel Sonic's presence in the wind. I don't think he's dead yet. I'm sure of it. It's not too late.
Of course! Let's call him back with the power of the Chaos Emeralds. Focus your thoughts on using its power to perform this miracle. You can do it, Princess.
I can?
You were the vessel that was used to seal Iblis. You should be able to use the gem's power to rescue Sonic's soul.
I'll do it.
Solaris flung the Chaos Emeralds to the distant corners of this distorted world.
To collect them all in time, we'll have to split up. I'll go too. Because it's for Sonic. So Elise, watch over him.
And now we're going to take on the only level in the last story, the end of the world. And also Sonic is dead, by the way. Yeah, Mephiles is so hardcore, he was the only one to actually able to kill Sonic. In broad daylight. In cold blood.
Sonic! We have to find the Chaos Emerald soon!
And now, how this stage is going to work is pretty much the final hurrah to each of the playable characters. As now our mission is to collect every single, the 7 Chaos Emeralds with 7 characters. This is the reason I believe why Blaze is dead. She died because there was one too many characters. So she wouldn't have been useful here. As you may have saw, these time rifts will be opening up throughout the stage. If you take too long, more will open up and they will get stronger and the colors will get very saturated. Thank you. There's also portals that launch items at you to harm you. If I can get to the correct section. Okay, I need to make this jump without... Oh, good, I have to make this jump too. The color scheme is very wrong. We will be going through all the stages, however, too. You have to be reaching these... I don't know what these are. What is the Duke called?
If you touch this rock, you can slow the time-space rift just slightly.
It's a
Use
rock.
it wisely and collect the Chaos Emeralds before time-space is destroyed.
Yeah!
It's just called a rock. So we have to touch these rocks to close all those... Yeah, space-time rifts temporarily, as the Duke said. The good thing about these is that we're only going through small sections of each stage, so we don't have to do like 2 minutes and such of stages. Or, no, probably as much as we actually do. We don't have to take on 7 10-minute stages in a row. As you see here. Actually, it's a good idea to start collecting 1-ups, because this is a new story, so we start with the default 5. Now we pass the baton to Omega. Also, since we're going to be going through 7 different sections, there is going to be a lot of loading in this stage. Oh, that was very close. That was very... No, it's taking my rings! It's taking my rings! Also, if you touch these... If you touch the core of them, rather, they will instantly kill you. No!
System error.
The spike ball killed Omega. Mash the jump button. Ignore all the enemies. You don't need to face any of these guys. Except just these guys. Because that door's locked. Also, these space-time rifts will absorb enemies as well. So if there's enemies that are close, as you may have saw with that golem. Come on, open the doors. The door's opening. Come on. Oh, the rock. Oh, I can already see a rock over here. We are heading to the end of Omega section as well. But this whole trope, you can already hear the Chaos Emerald. I'm gonna hold that thought for the next section, actually, since we're right at the end. And on this platform, this is not how waterfalls work. Oh, come on! My rings. Yep. Oh, these lines of dialogue get cut off because I collect them too soon.
The Chaos Emeralds. Where are they?
Now we're going back to Knuckles. And remember how Rouge's version of Tropical Jungle is pretty much broken? The same goes here, since Knuckles can glide. But anyways, to return to my earlier thought, this whole trope of giving every character their final time to shine in the last story is a trope I really like. It pretty much started in Sonic Adventure 2 with their last story, how everyone gets one last chance before the final boss.
Sonic.
Same goes with Sonic Heroes.
I'm coming.
But otherwise than that, I don't think many games continue that trope, actually. So it's nice that these 3 games give you that option.
I'll never give up. Let's go.
And Silver's Dusty Desert is actually somewhat of a longer section for these shorter sections. Not going to be as long as the normal stage, but the section they give us is surprisingly long. Again, we don't have to face these enemies because we can just let it charge, let the energy charge. Mash the jump button for the win. Uh-oh. Alright. Prevented that one from appearing. My rings! Also, there's a section of Dusty Desert that Silver doesn't visit in this story, because Silver was... Ooh, that's very close, that's very close! Silver just goes throughout the interior of... What is this, a temple? It ain't a dog. No. Oh, look at that. They're eyes that follow you. That's very creepy. Oh, that thing's ready to catch me. They knew what they were doing. The spike balls. They just get eaten. Come on, grape-flavored gummy worms. Help me out. I see another rock. I see another Dwayne Johnson. And there's even Soliana medals in this last level. Oh yeah, but something I have not acknowledged. Yeah, time is pretty much non-existent in this point of the story. Mephiles finally fused with Iblis, and they created Solaris. They formed Solaris, who is now going to eat every timeline. Uh-oh. Where's the Chaos Emerald? Oh, I see it. He just tapped me with his thumb. Don't eat my rings. Don't eat my rings. Screw you guys.
The Chaos Emeralds, where are they?
Another section of Rouge. So another broken section. You quickly have to get up on these pillars, because those portals will open and destroy these pillars for you. And if you get to the top and glide, and you know where you're going, this will be a very short section. All you have to do is make it to the shore where Tails lands to press the button. It's very hard to tell with this strong blue tint. But there we go, another section passed like that. The gliding characters are so broken.
Sonic, I'm going to save you.
Amy's section for the end of the world stage is my least favorite. Not because of her controls. She is one character that has kind of a long section as well. I do believe the sections just keep getting longer as the stage progresses. But it's a level design choice that's gonna appear in a moment. I don't think it matters if he gets spotted by the searchlights. Uh-oh. Where's one of the rocks? There isn't one down here. Great. Really? What a shot! Oh, a rock. I need to make it. I need to make it. They're pulling me in. Okay. Need to grab one ring. Okay, so this part is required to defeat the enemies guarding this gate. Uh-oh. We have to get so close to these guys. And the slowdown makes it much more difficult. You pretty much have to be inside their abdomens to hit them. Okay, that rock exploded. For this crate. This hallway is my least favorite part, because if you had let the portals open up, they would be spawning here like crazy. Let's get out of this portion.
The time-space rift is expanding. There's no more time. I need to...
And now we're at the final section. One more Chaos Emerald is left, and we have to go into Kingdom Valley with Shadow. Which is kind of fitting, since he was the only character not present in the E3 demo. And he takes on a portion, which I guess would have been found in the E3 demo. Mighty Eagle, save me! Take me away, Peter Dinklage. Don't drop me here! I didn't... No! Okay. I pressed the button, but it didn't register. You guys ignore that. Come on. Eagle, come back. For Shadow's portion, do not focus on charging up your energy boost or your chaos boost. It is not necessary in the slightest. Okay, good, another one up. Okay, the range on that homing attack. Why was it that far this time? The rock. I do believe this is the longest section. Oh god, no! Don't drop me off there. Oh, they still ate the guy. Still ate that golem. Ride of the wind. We are nearing towards the end of it. Ride of the wind. I'm gonna jump off here because I need this one up.
Okay, this is it. Sonic, here I come.
Might as well let you hear that last voice line. I wonder if the saturation gets heavier throughout this real screen. But what is our final stage ranking? It had to come back. It had to come back. It's fitting. And the total rings you get here does not matter at all. You can't access any hub worlds in this last story. But now, I will say right here, there's going to be a bit of a cutscene. I will say, for what happens in this next cutscene, I understand the intention. I understand it. I do not agree with its execution. If you know, you know. If you know what's coming up, you know. So let's just override, or overwrite, and then see what happens next.
Chaos Emeralds, Gems of Miracles, please heed my call. I wish to save this world. I wish to cleanse my father's sin, and I wish to talk to Sonic once again. You have given me so many things. Now it is my time to return the favor. I care not what happens to me, but please heed my voice. Sonic, come back. To me. To us.
Thank you, Elise.
That body of light is the sign of a super-dimensional life form. Standard attacks won't work on him. He eats dimensions for lunch. But there should be something that's anchoring him in this dimension. That's probably the light shells that can be seen on his body. If all of those are destroyed, he can be defeated.
Everyone! You need rings to stay in the super state, but maintaining this form consumes rings.
Make sure you don't run out of rings. If you're running low, use the triangle button to switch to someone else.
So now we fight the sun god of Soliana himself, Solaris. This final boss is a bit interesting.
Understood.
So each of the main 3 hedgehogs are now in a different time zone. One's in the past, one's in the present, one's in the future. And what do you have to do? You have to switch between the 3 hedgehogs and figure out which one can actually damage Solaris.
Silver, it's your turn.
I'll take care of this. This is the end. Prepare to meet your doom.
As the game told us, you have to use the triangle button to swap over to different characters. And all 3 hedgehogs have gone super the first time you see this happen. So how do they play? So Super Silver, with R1 you can grab all the spike balls Solaris throws at you. You have to throw them back at him, and hopefully they don't explode on the way to Solaris, because then they won't damage you. Like that. Your meter can run out. Also, I'm running very low on rings.
Good luck, Sonic.
Okay.
I think I still have to do damage with Silver, but I have to buy time now with Sonic because Silver ran really low on rings. Yeah, that's what I have to do. That's the only way to recharge rings, to switching to the other hedgehogs. There's no individual rings to grab, nothing.
It's all you, Shadow.
Understood.
Oh, and how do Sonic and Shadow work? So for them, the energy bar is going to be empty. So you hold R1 to charge it up. For Sonic, if you charge it up and press the square button, he will lunge directly at Solaris' core. For Shadow, he will launch a barrage of Chaos Spears. For Sonic, if you decide to attack with the square button, that's how you release both the attacks. If you decide to attack prior to the meter being full, with Sonic you will do a very slow lunge, you will never do any damage with it. For Shadow, you will throw individual Chaos Spears. These may do slight damage, but it's better to just charge up your energy meters. Alright, Silver's full on rings. Just try to grab some, or just try to grab one or two, and then just chuck them, and hopefully they don't explode, because grabbing too much is almost something greedy. You will know you've done sufficient damage when either he puts his shield up or something cracks. So once something cracks, I will no longer be able to damage with Silver for a certain period of time. Let's see, is Sonic the one who's able to attack now? No, so we gotta do Shadow.
It's all you, Shadow!
Understood. This might even be a fair fight.
Now, one interesting thing about this this final boss with the Super Hedgehogs, this is the one with the least amount of mobility in a 3D Sonic stage. Because you're kind of restricted to this circumference surrounding Solaris himself. And all you can do is move left, right, and up and down. But I will say this is probably one of the coolest ones because you have 3 Super Hedgehogs. And once again, this is like the first and only time you get to see it like this.
It's your turn.
I'll take care of this.
And one issue I have is that you will only...
It's my turn. Let's have some fun, Solaris.
When switching between Hedgehogs, you... Oh, I did it too soon. I didn't wait for it to charge up. Great. Oh, and pressing X or your jump button will cause you to dash, so you will be able to evade the projectiles easily. But as I was saying, so the cycle goes when you switch Hedgehogs, it's Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. But you cannot change the direction. So if you're playing as Shadow, as I was, and you need to switch over to Sonic, you have to go through Silver. I mean, it doesn't take that much more time, but still, it would have been nice. And now we've broken more of Solaris' chest.
Good luck, Sonic.
Did I break his head? His head is gone. And we're almost done with him. One more hit should do it. Oh, I'm running low on rings.
Are you okay? Use the triangle button to switch with me.
The Hedgehogs will notify you if you're running on low on rings, or the rest of the cast, really. They have a lot to say.
Is it over?
No, it's not over yet.
I guess it's not gonna be that easy.
So now we're going up against Phase 2. Remember how I mentioned that the first fight against Mephiles was one of the few bosses that has 2 phases? This is the other boss.
Is it impossible to defeat a super-dimensional being after all?
No, something's different. Is it a large, powerful consciousness coming from Solaris?
What? A consciousness? That's it! That's his core! Even if we can't stop his core, we can stop his consciousness!
Look! There's a strange thing in the middle of Solaris. Isn't that the core?
It's all you, Shadow!
Understood.
So yeah, going back to that Mephiles statement, it's very odd that Mephiles gets the same treatment as the final boss, although he does comprise half of the final boss. But it's even stranger because you fight Mephiles twice, and only the first time he has 2 phases.
It's your turn.
And it's looking like here that each Hedgehog can only damage him once prior to needing to switch over. Also, when you're using the shield, or yeah, this energy shield that Silver has to grab items, you cannot dash out of the way. So that's the trade-off. Very hard to hit him. Because he's throwing too much stuff at me. My projectiles are being destroyed before they can reach him. Uh-oh. I need to switch over to Sonic.
The present day, the here and now is stolen. Time to take it back.
Really? Those two voice lines overlap each other. That's the first time I've seen that happen. Well, yeah, after a certain amount of time in the fight, once you start switching to other characters, they will not give you a voice line to signify that they are, or to indicate that they are actually switching. Alright, I'm still doing damage with Sonic. Uh-oh, I did that too early. Okay. That's strange. I never had him repeat the same voice line like that. Oh shoot. Switch fast! That was so close. Because I do think... oh, I can't attack with Shadow. And that's a lot of lasers. I was down to 3 rings. Had I died there, I think I would have to redone both phases of Solaris.
I will protect the future.
Come on. Just one hit to let me know if I can actually damage him with Silver. The laser caught that one. Oh, he's almost dead. Oh, okay, gotta switch.
It's my turn. Let's have some fun, Solaris.
I think just one more hit will do it. If he hits me once, I think I might be screwed. And there it goes. We have now beaten the final boss of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. And what's my final score?
That was incredible.
That's a good one to end it off. The B had to sneak its way into the finale. But we ended off with an S. I will say it's kind of a shame. I would have loved to have the 3 hedgehogs be in the results screen, but I'll take what I can get for this game especially. Now there's going to be a lot of cutscenes right now. Oh, and also, yes. All episodes cleared. Oh, we get a specific medal for this, and we should be unlocking theater, audio room for this episode already. Yes, music, theater. Let's see how this game ends.
Did you destroy it?
No. That is the true Solaris.
Look, Elise. This is Solaris, the flame of hope.
It's so beautiful.
When the flame has grown large enough, our world will change. Solaris will allow us to control time and move through history. People will be able to rectify past mistakes and avoid bitter fate.
Will we be able to see Mama?
Yes, Elise. We'll both be able to see your mother once again.
This is where everything began. Who knew such a tiny flame could bring such devastation? If we put out this flame, Solaris will never exist. And then we'll never have to worry about the flames of disaster, right? But our encounter... You and I will never meet. It will never have happened. To tell the truth, I don't care what happens to the world.
Elise, just smile.
Miss Elise? It felt like someone was calling me. I'm sure it's just the wind. Of course. But it felt so familiar somehow.
And that's where it ends. The events of the game never take place after Elise blows out the flame. So there's a lot I want to say about this game. First off, to the people who don't know, I want to give a quick summary of the development history about this game to give you guys a better understanding of why it came out the way it did. So this game, as the 15th anniversary project for the series, was set to release in late 2007. It was originally intended to release for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii systems, which were the next generation systems at the time. That's also why this game is sometimes dubbed Sonic's Next Gen. However, during development, they realized the Wii is not as strong as the PS3 and the Xbox 360. So what did they do? They cut the development team in half and sent that half to work on a Wii game. So the Wii could launch with a Sonic title. That Wii game would become Sonic and the Secret Rings. So they cut the development team in half, but they never decided to delay the game. So it's a strict deadline with now half the manpower. And in addition to that, one of Sonic's creators left. He left Sega, or just left the project entirely during this time. So this game did not have the best conditions, development conditions. And one odd thing is that the Xbox 360 version is the only one that you can really call Sonic 2006 as. That's the only one that was released in 2006. The PS3 version, which is the version I'm playing now, was released in early 2007. It's very odd. But now, when it comes to my thoughts on the game, I'm not trying to give that summary of the development history to excuse the faults of this game, because I do still think it's a bad game. The insane lack of polish is what makes this a bad game for me, objectively. But I only have good memories of this game. I bought this game when I was a kid from GameStop, so all I have is nostalgia for it. This game is a mess, as it's been very apparent throughout this Let's Play. But that's what I like about it. I like that's one of the most charming features about it, how you can just easily break it and play it in ways that it was not intended to. I think it's a good reason to come back to it. But outside of it being broken, there actually are a lot of other things that I do find charming in this game. For example, this game is an adventure-styled game. It's not Sonic Adventure 3. They have said that many times. It's been confirmed by Sega. This is not Sonic Adventure 3, and they do want to do Sonic Adventure 3 in the future. But this is not Sonic Adventure 3. It has all the tropes of it, though. It has the multiple stories, the surprising finale, the wide range of characters that we've come to know from Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 and even Heroes. It has the same playstyle as well, as this is before the Boost games. It has the same type of adventure style, the open world, not as linear level designs as the later games, more open. And it's the last time we get to see that up until now, because right now the latest game to release is Sonic Frontiers. There are some adventure elements in Frontiers, but this was 2006. Sonic Frontiers was what, 2022? And another thing is that this game is the last time we get to use characters in this capacity. So, because from here on out, the only real characters that have been used would be Shadow in Sonic Forces, and so again, let me go back to Sonic Frontiers. The latest thing to come out about Sonic Frontiers was the first content update. It is stated that there will be new playable characters coming in a later content update. So, and it's assumed that it's going to be playable Amy, Tails, and Knuckles. So those characters will come back there if they do. But then, I mean, Blaze we don't get to use unless it's Sonic and the Black Knight, which I will count. But then Rouge, Omega, Silver, they don't come back. And I'm not going to count the Olympic Games, I'm not going to count the spin-offs, like the racing games. In a mainline Sonic game, this is the last major appearance for a lot of these characters as playable characters. And even story-wise, as I mean, Silver does come back. Characters do come back, but it's kind of rare. And then, not to mention the story itself. This is pure Sonic in the 2000s storytelling. Because we're now dealing with the past, present, and future. A sun god, Mephiles, who is out to kill Sonic, who eventually does, and now in the end, we just fought the time god who's trying to destroy all of time itself. Yeah, this is entirely in line with previous and later games, whereas like you fought the god of destruction in Sonic Adventure, you prevented the bootleg Death Star from crashing into Earth, and in Sonic Unleashed, where this creature from the depths of hell emerges in an attempt to destroy Earth. This is pure Sonic in the 2000s, and I love it. I am very fond of this game. Now the next question is, should you go and play it? Here's the thing. I would only really recommend this game to the hardcore Sonic fan. It's not necessary. But I also want to point out how unavailable this game is. First off, this game is not available on the PlayStation 3 store. And it's been like that for a while, because I believe Sega took down all their digital games. I mean, all the Sonic games on digital storefronts in somewhere in like 2014, I want to say, maybe earlier. So there's that. And also, this is the only Sonic game from this generation to not get added to the Xbox Series X Game Pass, if that's what it is, because Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations were released in this generation of systems, but and yeah, they were put on the Xbox Series X. Sonic 06 has not yet been ported. This game is not that expensive either, so if you do really want to get this version of Sonic 06, either PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 version, they range about $30, so they're somewhat inexpensive for a retro game. But I strongly, if you have the capability to do so, play Project P06. It is either a heavily modded version of this game or this game rebuilt from the ground up by either a team or a singular person. It's phenomenal, the work that has been done on this project. As I'm recording this, the latest thing that came out was Silver's story, or episode Silver, on Project P06. But go check it out if you're able to do so. And a few interesting things I want to mention as well is, so again, I am playing the PlayStation 3 version. And as I've already mentioned, this came out after the Xbox 360 version. And there is a lot of unused content in the game overall, but there's missing content specific to the PlayStation 3 version. Xbox 360 has achievements. That version of Sonic 06 has an achievements list. I'm assuming it's just basic achievements like play the levels, it's like you complete Wave Ocean, you get an achievement, and so on and so forth. There's no trophy system on the PlayStation 3 version, which is very odd. This version came out after and it's missing content. It's minor content, but the point still stands. And I'm not going to indulge that much more into unused content, but there's two more examples I want to give. First off, there is unused content that is mentioned in the instruction booklet to the game. A shield item that is never used in the game. And I'm not talking about the Thunder Shield you get with the gems. Which is a good segue, because the next unused content, a bit of unused content, is a final gem that remains in the files of the game. It's called the Rainbow Gem. And it is presumed to let you turn the Super Sonic in normal levels, akin to the classic Sonic games on the Genesis. And oh man, that would have been great. That would have been great if all of that was in the game. But also, slightly going back to the achievements, there's even references in the trophy you get for defeating the final boss is called, I think it's Knights of Kronos, which is a reference to Knights in a Dream, so they even reference other Sega properties. But so yeah, moving away from the beta elements, I'm gonna just briefly show off other things that the game has to offer. I'm not gonna show the audio and theater room, but there's a multiplayer option. There's 2 modes, tag and battle. In tag, again, this is up to 2 players. In tag, you choose either Sonic, Silver, or Shadow, and both actually. Sonic, Silver, or Shadow for either tag or battle. In tag, you and player 2 work together to get to the end of a stage. You go through all the stages in the game: Wave Ocean, Dusty Desert, and so on. And all you do is work together to get to the end of the stage. Battle, it's a race to get to the end of the stage. The stages are the exact same, with the exception of certain doors where you need both players to get switches. One interesting thing, though, is that the power-ups you unlock throughout the story will remain in the multiplayer. So Sonic has access to all the gems you've gotten. So whoever gets Sonic first is broken, if you decide to find somebody to play multiplayer with. I've played tag before, I think it's a better version. However, I don't think I have anything else left to say. This has been a fun ride. My second Let's Play. So yeah, this has been Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. I do have other Let's Plays planned, but that'll be for another time. So in that case, see you all in space.